You don't always remember the moment it began, but something small cracked open in you. A glance, a word, a silence that lingered too long. That's how the echo starts. Soft, almost nothing, until it becomes everything. You sit across from someone new. They tilt their head the same way he did. They laugh, and something in you flinches. You don't know why, but it's familiar. It's not them. It's the memory their presence awakens. Love doesn't start on blank pages. It bleeds through from the lines we've underlined before. The old loves, the near loves, the ones that broke you gently, or shattered you so quietly no one noticed. Somewhere deep in the body, the past still lives. In the nervous system, in the micro-responses, in the way you pull away when someone gets too close, or cling too tightly when they take one step back. This isn't drama. It's history. It's a relational imprint, your body's map of how love feels. And if you grew up in spaces where love came with fear, then safety can feel like confusion, and longing can feel like home. But let's pause here, because I need you to hear this. That wasn't neediness. That was how your body begged to be seen. Have you ever felt like love was just out of reach? Like no matter how hard you tried, you were always the one holding more? If that's been your story, this is for you. We're going to explore why love repeats, why we chase what hurts, why peace feels like a stranger, and how it begins to shift when you finally see it. You learned about love long before you ever called it love. In the small ways people showed up, and the even smaller ways they didn't. Maybe someone you trusted was warm one moment, cold the next. Maybe you learned to measure affection by mood, to read silence like a second language, to anticipate disappointment before it arrived. Your body became a translator for emotional weather, and this shaped you more deeply than you think. When you were young, you didn't analyze love. You absorbed it. You inhaled it. You adapted to it. And over time, your nervous system developed a template, a felt sense of what connection means. Not in words, in sensation. So now when someone new enters your life, your body scans them instantly. Not consciously, not logically, but instinctively. It asks, do they feel like the people who came before? Do they carry the same warmth? The same danger? The same distance I tried so hard to close? And if they do, even slightly, you feel the pull. That gravitational tug you can't explain. It's not chemistry, not fate. It's recognition. Your heart recognizes what your mind cannot yet name. Because familiarity feels like truth, even when truth once hurt you. This is why you're drawn to people who resemble past patterns. Not in appearance, in emotional energy, in the roles you learn to play. The pursuer, the fixer, the quiet one, the one who holds the space for two. And here's the part no one told you. That wasn't weakness. That was survival. You shaped yourself around the love you were given, because children don't question love. They adapt to keep it. Has that ever felt true for you? You became fluent in someone else's emotional landscape before you even understood your own. That's what happens when love is inconsistent. You start watching other people's faces like weather reports, and your body learns to brace before the storm. This wiring stays with you, not because you're weak, but because you're loyal to what once kept you safe. In psychology, it's called attachment imprinting. The way our early emotional bonds create an internal blueprint for how intimacy feels. Not just in relationships, but in your very skin. If connection once meant walking on eggshells, you might now find comfort in walking carefully. If love once meant proving your worth, you might now overgive without even noticing. If you had to shrink yourself to be accepted, you may still feel guilty when you expand. And here's the paradox. Sometimes the safest love feels boring, because your nervous system isn't used to calm. It's used to chaos. It's used to running after affection, not resting in it. So when someone sees you without you having to perform, you may feel the urge to flee. Not because something's wrong, but because it feels unfamiliar. That's the trap of emotional memory. It confuses pain with passion. It calls danger exciting. And it mistrusts peace because peace wasn't predictable. But it's not your fault. This was your early training. Your emotional education. You didn't get a choice in the lesson plan. You only had a choice in how to survive the classroom. And you did. You made it here. Now you get to unlearn. Gently. With grace. You've probably felt it without having words for it. The weight that love carries when it feels like a test you keep failing. The way your chest tightens before sending a message. The way your mind replays what you said, how you said it, if you said too much. Or not enough. It's not just overthinking. It's emotional survival rehearsed for years. If this is you, you feel guilty setting boundaries, even tiny ones like needing space. You apologize before you've even hurt someone. You mirror people's moods to keep the peace. And sometimes, you choose silence over honesty because silence feels safer than rejection. In relationships, you may lose yourself trying to become what someone else needs. You become the calm one, the strong one, the one who never asks for much. Because somewhere deep down, you fear that needing too much might make you too hard to love. At work, you overfunction. You take on more than your share. Praise makes you feel seen. Criticism feels like abandonment. Even in solitude, you feel the phantom echo of someone watching, noticing, judging. And when someone offers safe love, gentle love, you struggle to believe it's real. You wait for the other shoe to drop. Because love, in your history, was often followed by silence, or shame, or loss. But you're not broken. You're patterned, and patterns can be rewritten. This isn't about blaming your past. It's about understanding your present, and you are not alone in this. So many of us grew up mastering the art of earning love instead of receiving it freely. That wasn't weakness. That was survival. So what now? What do you do with the ache? The patterns you didn't choose. The walls you didn't mean to build. The way you crave closeness but flinch when it arrives. Start here, with something small, gentle. Take one breath before you respond. Pause. Notice if you're reacting to the present or to an echo from the past. Try this. At the end of your day, write down one moment where you felt tension in your chest. Don't analyze it. Just name it. That naming is your first boundary with the past. And this, practice saying, "I'm not sure yet." When someone asks you for something, you don't have to earn their love by rushing. Space is not selfish. It's sacred. And maybe this, if you're ready. Write a letter to the version of you that first learned to become small. Tell them what no one told them then. That they were allowed to ask. That they were never too much. That love should never have been a reward for silence. There's no rush to fix. You're not a project. You're a person relearning safety, relearning worth, relearning the sound of your own voice. And if all you did today was notice the pattern and whisper to yourself, "I see you," that's enough. You don't have to be fearless to heal. You just have to be curious, tender, willing to return to yourself. You're not too much. You were overneeded. You're not too sensitive. You were underprotected. This is not the end of your story. It's the part where you begin to write it differently. There's a photograph in your mind. You don't remember the day, but you remember the feeling. Someone just outside the frame. You, reaching, waiting, wondering if love would notice you. Now imagine that same photo, but the version of you today steps into it. Not to erase the past, just to sit beside that younger self. A hand on their shoulder. A whisper so quiet, it feels like breath. You didn't do anything wrong. Because so much of healing isn't about forgetting. It's about letting memories soften. Letting the echoes sing a little less loudly. Letting the fear fade from the walls you built just to feel safe. You can keep what protected you and still choose something new. You can hold the ache and still move toward love. Because here's the truth. Love isn't only what you give others. It's what you learn to offer inward. The patience, the slowness, the softness you never received. So tonight, as the world winds down and the quiet grows, let this be your question. What kind of love am I ready to believe in? It doesn't have to be perfect. It just has to be true. And before this ends, there's one more thing. One word you needed to hear as a child. Write it below. Let someone else know they're not alone in the echo. Then, share this quietly with someone who needed to hear it. Not to fix them, just to sit beside them. The way love once sat beside you. And still does.